That noise was not a factory noise, and that did not sound good.
That is definitely a problem. Oh yay, wheel bearing everywhere. There's the other half. And that is why I said about having the drive shaft in to hold the wheel bearing together, because that's exactly what's just happened. The wheel bearings just come apart, and this wheel is having a really tough time of it. First of all, I completely scour the inside of it with a caliper, then the brake fluid completely ruins it, and now I've just dropped the whole car on it. So that's definitely going to need a refurb now. But now I'm kind of stuck. The car is now collapsed on this wheel. That's the only thing stopping it from falling on the floor. I have wheel bearing everywhere. And I couldn't be in a worse position. Look, I'm bang in the middle of the yard. That is definitely a problem. So when I jacked the car up in the air, the wheel literally fell off because my wheel bearing had collapsed in half. But 4 bolts, nice and easy to remove the wheel bearing, popped it off, and then we need to put the rest of it in the vise to cut the rest of the race off and use a hammer and chisel, prise it off like that, and then it just pops off from the end. And then we need to get our new wheel bearing and press it on with the press. Once we've done that, we can then refit the wheel bearing with now the stub axle, which holds the wheel on, back onto the car. All importantly though, I need my drive shaft to hold the wheel bearing together. I used my old one, just cut off the end. And then we can put the wheel bearing back into the car, and this time, remember, the drive shaft. And the one thing I should have done last time but didn't was put my little drive shaft in, which I've now cut off. And there we go, and that will then hold the wheel bearing together and it won't collapse on me. And on Compete for Cars right now, guys, there is this Mark IV Volkswagen Golf R32 HPI clear, not been crashed this one. This is an immaculate condition car, so go grab your tickets. The competition actually ends tonight at 9 p.m, live draw at 9:30. Tickets are £1.99 each, or there is a £10,000 cash alternative. Links in the description. Go grab your tickets. I'll see you tonight for the live draw. Now, this part of the video gets a little bit blurry for me because it was that awkward time between Christmas and New Year, and I enlisted the help of Greg to help me remove the engine and the gearbox so the machine shop can come in and weld up the chassis. Now, we kind of just smashed this out. I had a very limited time window to get the engine out, I think about 5 hours, which is why I enlisted the help of Greg, and we just cracked on removing the engine. Now, we thought it was a good idea to remove the offside rear quarter panel as well, because it stops us from damaging it. It gives us a lot more access to the engine compartment, and also it gives me an insight into what brackets I'm missing from the near side rear that I need to order too. But once we got that removed, it was actually quite plain sailing. We just needed to remove the under tray, all the coolant, all the oil, remove the front drive shafts, remove the prop shaft, and also then just remove all the wiring loom from the engine, oil pipes, all the ancillaries, etc. like that, and it didn't actually take too long. And then at the top of the engine, you've got things like the exhaust, the oil tank, the near side oil cooler. We had to remove all of those. Obviously, the rear end's already removed anyway, so that we didn't have to do that. And then just drag the engine out. All okay, to be honest. I just need to go a little bit higher, clear the gearbox out the subframe. Are we all looking good?
At the moment, yeah.
I'll come back a little bit.
Go on, a little bit more. Go. Let me just get this air come. Yeah, good.
I'll go up a little bit more.
You don't want to go much more because you're starting to make it fatter for the chassis.
I'm just about clear, I think.
Wait.
Come on, it's a tight squeeze.
Right, straight back, fella. Well, can you drop it a little bit?
Yes.
It might be helpful.
Can I drop it a little bit? Oh no, I can't need to go up.
Up.
Engine mounts.
That's it. There she goes.
It's that engine mount this side. We're good?
Alright, straight into work then.
Now we're going to jump straight into some footage of Del, Mickey and Bob from the machine shop coming down to straighten and weld up the chassis of the Lamborghini. Now, as I said, this is between Christmas and New Year, so I wasn't actually able to be here for quite a lot of this. So there's a lot of time lapse of them pressing the chassis out, which had actually just come in about just over 0.5 centimetre, so we needed to push it back out and get it in the correct position so then Bob can come, work his magic and weld the whole thing up. And also, while we're here, we tried to test fit the near side rear quarter panel too, just to make sure it all lined up. Right, I've now got my camera and I've started here. We started making some progress. We have Derek and Mickey. You may recognise Mickey from Chris's channel. So we've done pretty well so far. We've cut out quite a lot of the damage. We've pressed over the top bit of the chassis here because it was like a couple mil out, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've managed to get this back into the correct position now, so that lines up absolutely perfectly. Second section's gone in, that's now lined up. So
yeah.
It's not actually that bent.
No, I did say, didn't I?
It looks worse in the video.
Yeah, I did say. I'm glad it's better in real life than it looking worse.
Talking about a couple of inches bent, but it's crucial it's in the right position.
Exactly, yeah.
Nothing can fit otherwise.
Yeah. So this part of the chassis where the top of the wishbone bolted to, that literally just snapped, that fell out when I took it off. So we've got that pretty much now back.
A little bit more now.
Yeah, we need to
use the port power to move this section back over.
That's it.
And then it will be nearly
where
it needs to be. So a little bit more work.
So it's just this bit inside of the chassis here. This bit needs to just push over. What was it? About 4 or 5 mil, didn't you say?
About 5 mil. Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah. So it's just this main bit here.
All the braces are now everything's fitting perfect.
Yeah.
It's just that middle bit, and we're ready for Bob to come in and weld it.
Yeah, nice one. And we've got this bit of section here we just cut out because we can make a new one.
Yeah,
and also,
repair, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's not doing very well, is it?
We'll refabricate all of that, make it back to factory.
Get that back in.
Same with this section here. It was easier to cut the section out to remove all the stresses.
Yeah.
And when the porter power brings it back over, then we'll just put a new section back in here.
Yeah, because it was just it was a very small bit of impact, wasn't it? It hasn't actually bent the whole thing over at all.
Well, yeah, if you look at the impact itself, it was.
Yeah, that's literally all it was, wasn't it?
It wasn't very much.
So you can just straighten it out and then get that back in. And the other thing is, there's a bracket here. We took off the other quarter panel. There's this bracket here that Lamborghini won't sell me this part here, which I have no idea why, because it's such a small little bit that's just tacked on. So we've actually mocked up, where is it? A bit of cardboard.
Yeah, so
mocked up a little bit of cardboard here.
We've done a mirror image for the other side, so
Yeah.
this one then will fit on this side. As soon as we've done the fabrication,
That's it. We're going to make one,
make that one, and then
weld it on,
do the brackets.
do the bracket, and then that'll be the quarter panel bolted on. And we can eliminate the issue of Lamborghini not selling us bloody parts. So
Even though it's got Audi all over it.
exactly, yeah. So we're going to do that. So porter power now, just push it over a couple of mil, and then we are pretty much there. There's just a few cracks that we can see on the chassis, just there. And just by your leg there, look, if you can see my finger, it's just a little crack there, so they can just be welded up. Don't have to even do anything to those, do we? Don't have to move those, yeah.
Straight rolls, now that it's in the right position.
Yeah.
They're just stress cracks, really.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Cool. And once we were happy, everything was in the correct position, we had Bob swooping in to weld everything up. Now he superheats the metals, so it is a proper strong weld, even stronger than Lamborghini factory welds. And as I said, I was unable to be here for this part, so I'm going to put it on a little bit of a time lapse and you can watch his magic. And also I came back and he'd fabricated a piece of metal for me for the top because I couldn't buy it from Lamborghini. It was a body shop only a part and they just wouldn't sell it to me. So Bob just made it for me. As you do. So that is now the welding all done, and as you can see, I've got it back on the ground. I've actually put the suspension and the wheel back on this side because it's a few weeks later and I needed to get the car off the ramp. But the machine shop guys have absolutely smashed it. I mean, look at these welds, for example. I mean, they're better than the factory welds. We actually made up a bracket for this side because Lamborghini will not sell you this part. So they basically carbon copied this bracket on this side, made it look better, and welded it onto here so then we can have our wing attached to this. But if we just go round and look at some of the welds, I'm yet to paint it still, as you can see, but it's all now fully, bloody brake lines in the way, fully in position here. I mean, you saw what we did. It needed to come over and a smidgen on this side, which it has. And we can see, look, welds here, here, everywhere. Down there as well, and pretty much Bob has said it's going to be stronger than it was before. So really happy with that. And Bob's even fabricated the ends for my end points for the chassis here. Look, as you can see, he's had to run a weld up here because it was completely snapped off. And this side was just missing altogether. And he's fitted a new tab flange on as well. Actually looks better than the factory one that would have been there. This is for the bolt for the rear crash bar. Now, obviously, the fix for this would have been a new whole subframe because it's welded on. So, yeah, that looks spot on. So, massive thanks again for that. And then he's just also repaired a few brackets here as well. One that's for the anti-roll bar, I believe. I think. Or is that at the top? No, sorry, that's an exhaust bracket. And he's repaired this bit here for another bracket. He's welded in the new cross member at the front here and also Audi R8 crash bar. So this from Lamborghini was £2,000. The one off an R8, which is the same, was I think 200 quid. But what we had to do is because the Lamborghini one like protrudes a little bit further than the R8 one, we had to basically cut, well Bob did, I didn't, he cut the Lamborghini crash bar off of these bits and welded the R8 one on to make it fit a lot better and obviously save ourselves 1,500 quid. So a massive thank you to Bob, Mickey and Del for helping me save the rear chassis on the Huracan. Obviously without their help I would not have been able to, well this subframe would have been scrap, but obviously thanks to them it is now probably stronger than it was originally. And yeah, we're all good to go. And obviously the fabrication work is just incredible. And it actually looks better than the standard Lamborghini stuff. So a massive thanks to Bob and the machine shop. Yeah, I'm going to put a link to that link in the description for anything. If you need any metal fabrication, alley, anything like that, just go give them a shout. They can pretty much, I mean, I had them just here saying, oh yeah, we can make a bracket for that, bracket for this, bracket for that. Literally can do anything. That is all the welding now done. We are good to get the engine back in, but I think that engine's going to go back in the next video because I've just had a delivery. And that delivery are my seats and dashboard and seat belts and steering wheel airbags have all come back. Airbag Service UK have smashed it out the park with these. I mean, I'm not even sure that they are the same seats, but I don't know how they've done it, but it's the stitching on here is actually better than the OEM stitching on this side. It's just come out absolutely perfect. The seat belts on this didn't need to be done. The tensioners are in the actual belts themselves, but the seats look absolutely fantastic. I actually just tucked the dashboard over here. I actually haven't even unwrapped it yet, so we're going to see this for the first time because they've had to do the dashboard on here. Let me just get some tape. And there we go. So they've replaced the airbag on here and done all the stitching on here. And again, I don't know. Have they replaced all this? I don't even know. It just looks completely factory. Airbag obviously sits in there once we're done, but yeah, it's looking really good. So a massive thanks to Airbag Service. Now, if you need any airbags fitting, any airbags supplied, seatbelts resetting, anything like that, even a new seatbelt color, then give them a shout. I'm going to put the link in my description for them. Yeah, they can even come to you and fit your dashboard kit if you want. So yeah, highly recommend. Big thanks to Airbag Service. But what I think we'll do now for the remainder of this video is get the interior 100% back together, and then I can go about sourcing a windscreen. Again, like £3,000 for a windscreen. So I might have to bite the bullet there and order a genuine new screen because no one can get one elsewhere. But if the interior is all back together, it's just going to feel like we've just completed one major milestone. And then in the next video, the engine will probably go back in. We're going to get it rolling, mechanically sound, interior done, and then it will just be a case of stupid little brackets and stuff, and then getting all the body panels on. So let's crack on with the interior. Yeah, the downside to removing all this months ago is I have no idea where any of this goes. Apart from that, I know where that goes, but ironically, it's the only thing I can't fix. I don't have a windscreen. Oh, and the glove box. So now we're just going to refit the top of the dashboard. Now, luckily, unlike most cars, this isn't a full dashboard. It is more like just the top of it. So we just need to plonk it on the top and then just screw it all back together.
Ow! Is that it?
And with the center console now in position, I can screw it all back down and refit my switches and my little LCD screen back in the middle too.
Tell you what, this genuine leather dash smells delightful. Right. Just goes like that, does it? So I've got the clip in. How are we going? Oh, you just sit like.
Unbelievable. You couldn't make it up. I spent 5 minutes studying these seat belts. They're identical down to the part numbers, everything, every single number that I checked was the same. And I've just obviously fitted them because they're both the same. And I've just gone to plug the airbag connectors in and I've just found the difference. And the difference is that there's 2 airbag connectors, one here, and on this one, they are switched round. So I've got blue here, black. On this one it's blue, black. And that is the reason that my airbag connectors don't fit, because I've managed to put the wrong one in on an identical otherwise seatbelt, and obviously picked the wrong one as a 50-52. So it's just great. Oh no, so I did have it right. Oh, it's just wrong. So now the bracket doesn't fit. So all is not lost. I've just spoke to Airbag Service and they said that these are just little black plastic, well, and blue clips that just slot into here, and we can easily just pop them out and swap them over. So that is all we've got to do, because I've just checked and my passenger one is actually okay. So I'm now going to try and do this. Obviously I've done the black one. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Just got to pull these 2 tabs together and then just pop it out like that, like so. That's all you got to do, and then it'll only go in one way because the connector points are staggered here. So we just got to put our blue one in here, like that. Clip it in. Job done. I'll just put the black one in now, and then hopefully now that should go back in. Beautiful. There we go. Crisis averted. We are all good. There we go. Job done. Right, that's driver's side done. Do the passenger one now, and we can start building up this rear bit of the cabin. So with the seatbelt saga now resolved, I can put together the rest of the back end of the cabin. Now I actually did go back and watch my video of stripping this because there's so many different trims. I just didn't want to fit one, realised that I had to fit another one before that one, then have to remove it, go back. There's nothing worse than having to remove and refit something 100 times. So once I got everything, all my eggs in the basket, I knew what I was doing, and I can put the rear of the car back together. So that is the interior, 96% put back together. Everything from sort of the A-pillar back has been done, apart from the seats. We just got to put those in, but all this is done. The only thing I haven't done, as you can see, are these parts here, the trims at the top here, and the trim that goes along the roof lining, and that is purely because we've still got the windscreen to fit, so they'll need access to behind here to fit the windscreen, so there's no point in putting those trims back on. But everything else is looking good, just giving it a little hoover as well. So the next thing and the last thing we need to do is get the seats in, and it's going to just feel like a bit, just don't know, just a massive box ticked. No, nothing about this, nothing about any of this can be elegant. I don't know how to do this. Success! However, now I've inherited bubble wrap. Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm going to need a week off after this, honestly. Now next I'm actually going to move onto this door and removing it, because I do have a new door. It should be fairly simple. I was just worried I'm going to have to remove the interior trim to get this, but I think I can just unplug it from here, take the door off, then we've got to strip the whole door card down and fit our new door. So here is my new door that we're going to be swapping it all over onto. We can see here it does have a little bit of damage. However, the damage is a lot more minor than the damage on this door, as you can see here. Look, and also I'm pretty sure this door's bent. It doesn't shut properly. So notice it should be a lot more flush, and it's not. Whereas if you look at this side, it's a lot closer. So that door's bent, I'm pretty sure. Luckily my wing was missing, so I was just able to undo the bolts really easy from the outside and then just pull the door off. Now there wasn't much info about stripping a door card online, but I just managed to get it off without damaging it, and then it was just stripping a door like a normal door, window regulator, window. It was the door handle that I just had no clue to get off, and I got really bored of filming it, but I did get it off. Right, I stopped filming the door because it was just taking forever, because doing things for the first time always takes forever, but I have now got the door latch and the handle onto the new door. I'm not going to build the rest of it back up with like the regulator and the glass, purely because it still needs repairing, that door, so the chances are I'd have to strip it all back out anyway to be repaired. So for now I've just made it so I can now fit it to the car, just to make sure that my mounting down there isn't damaged and it all just fits on nicely. Test this out. Oh. No, I think it's something. There's something not good. Right, so I've done some adjusting. We're not a million miles off this side, but we are this side. Like this bit of the door edge here should be right up against here. I'll show you the other side. So you can see here where it's all pretty much flush. So, I mean, I don't really know. I'm a good sort of nearly a centimetre out, which is a lot. But I also look like I'm a bit high, but that could just be a minor adjustment. But if you look inside, it's all up against it, so I don't really know at this point. I need to look into that a bit further. The mounting points down here don't look like they've been bent, but they could be. I don't know. But I don't want to end this video on a bit of a downer with the door. So the interior is fully back together. It's looking really good. It's feeling a bit like a Lamborghini again. In the next video, guys, the engine's going back in. We're going to put coolant, oil, get it all in, and we're going to get it driving mechanically sound. We're going to do a first little road test. Well, not on the road, but up and down the drive, around the yard. First little road test. I've got a new exhaust coming for it as well, so you first hear that. And then it's just going to be a case of loads of little panel brackets for body panels, and then we're going to do a test fit of all the body panels too, guys. So we're getting there, and I aim to get this obviously done for summer. So I'm aiming for around April, May time, which was always the deadline. I said to myself I wanted to do it within a year, so we've got till sort of the end of June, I think, to do that, which I think we're on course for. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to enter the Golf R32. It ends tonight, so go grab your tickets for that, and I'll see you in the next one, which is going to be a surprise. Well, you ain't seen the car before, so it will be a surprise. Cheers, guys.